We're back at the table with our special panel of local journalists who are helping us count down the top stories of 2017. Now, coming in at number 6 is what we call the Trump effect and what it's had on New Mexico. From the travel ban, the proposed wall, the border, immigrants fearing deportation policies and appointments, long-term impacts in our state, and hardly a week goes by without at least one segment covering the effect of this new administration on New Mexico. Marion, start with you. In your opinion, how has New Mexico been affected by this Trump administration? It's a tough one off the top of our heads, but as I said in the setup, there's something almost every month that I have to sit back and go, wait a minute, what's the impact here? This could be significant.
It's across the board. So it's healthcare, immigration, law enforcement. As a person who covers law enforcement, that is one that I think sticks with me from the past year. Santa Fe was in the limelight with sanctuary cities. Toward the start of the year, Albuquerque found itself in some controversy when the Justice Department singled the city out on whether the city could receive some funds from the Justice Department because there was some misunderstanding about its status as a sanctuary city. It doesn't feel that the city doesn't feel that it is, of course. So those are the things that I recall. But at the same time, I think in a lot of ways there is of course Trump effect because it's just a huge dynamic shift in this whole country. But in a lot of ways I think we're kind of on pins and needles still in this state because a lot of things just quite haven't materialized yet.
The idea of sequestration, I can't even go there. That would make us in a bad spot. Interesting when you think about, again, this past year, so many things happen in this administration so quickly. It's hard to kind of pin down a few things for New Mexico specifically, but maybe one or two jump out for you?
I remember politically, I'm starting the year in the session and there were bills that would have barred state land from being used for the wall. I mean, I think that kind of set the tone in Santa Fe, this kind of defiance from some quarters. I mean, I don't know if you could have even legally enacted such a bill, but just kind of the tone. I think also it's been interesting watching Governor Martinez and her approach to the Trump administration. She'd criticized him on the campaign trail. I don't think she thought he was going to win, and now kind of trying to warm up to him, but kind of walking this tightrope on some of the healthcare overhaul, things like that. And obviously she's in a tough place kind of either way she goes on that.
That's right. Department of Justice Matt Grubbs, the new head of the DOJ in Washington has a very different idea than his predecessor. And there's some impact for New Mexico, certainly.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going to go for this. I mean, we think, it's been a year. We don't have a U.S. attorney yet. I mean, they've named John Anderson, but he hasn't come in yet. And I think locally for Albuquerque, one of the biggest impacts that folks will see is the court-approved settlement agreement. There we go. This idea that the feds are keeping an eye on APD and their use of force. As Mary said, just kind of a lot of the civil rights parts of how they police. If the Department of Justice backs off that, you may see, and again, we have a different mayor now, so I think it's a different ball game. Albuquerque, but there's a different mayor now, but I think that could actually really, really change things. If the Department of Justice says, all right, you're on the right track, we're done. You got a city council that's really anxious to get out from under this contract.
That's right.
With the guy that they picked. I don't really understand that.
That's right.
But I haven't understood a lot that the Albuquerque City
Exactly
Council.
Right. Good point. Who does know, actually? Inez, we've also had a part of this administration, the appointment of our Secretary of the Air Force is a local. Heather Wilson, Dr. Wilson now. I wonder, any bounce from that appointment for us? Any impact you see? We've got we're looking at our BRAC is coming up in another 3 years from now, so you never know.
I know they try to keep Kirtland busy and keep the other sites where military installations are working, and there's a lot of air in New Mexico for planes to fly. I would pivot a little bit away from the military and go back to health programs because they have not reauthorized CHIP for children. And
Thank you.
New Mexico is highest in poverty, highest in hunger, all of those things for kids. And if kids don't have insurance and can't go to the doctor, then all of the outcomes that we want for our children are going to be worse.
And we're also looking at an administration, Matt, staying on this side of the table, Medicaid, Medicare could come under some changes, huge impacts for New Mexico.
There are. I think we're really sort of teetering. There's a lot that could happen, and there's a lot that keeps happening that keeps distracting from what might happen. So I think it'll be slower than we see. There won't be the direct rollout. We saw a lot of panic with DACA. and now we've got a lot of preparations from people who are getting ready for the perhaps eventuality of having to leave. We just don't know, and I think if we lose some of that, and this is Dan's ballgame, but if we lose some of that federal match for Medicaid,
That's right. I can
it's
even
going to
imagine.
sting.
Exactly right. 20 seconds. Can you touch on that real quick?
Yeah, I mean, I think Medicaid's 40% of the state is enrolled. I mean, it's got to be one of the highest, if not the highest, in the country. Our enrollment under Obamacare, the expansion has been huge. I mean, there's millions of dollars at stake there.
Absolutely. Have to end it there. Now, thank you all for joining us this week for this countdown of the top stories of 2017. I'm Gene Grant. Thanks for joining us for New Mexico in Focus. We'll discuss the top 5 news stories next week, and we appreciate your time and effort to stay informed and engaged as usual. We'll see you next time in Focus.